back, and this is Persona Magazine live at Space Atlanta here in the West End in Atlanta. And again, each month we get together just to pull out some local artists, some local entertainers, and let you know exactly what's going on in our community. You can always find us online at personamag.com, where you'll see the full write-up of each article each month, as well as getting an opportunity to review the tape that we're making here tonight. So our next entertainer coming to the stage has dazzled ladies all over the city as a phenomenal actor. His portfolio is too huge for me to capsulize in one moment, so I'll let Dap Paxton do it for himself. Welcome to the stage, Dap.
Thank you. It's good to be here, man.
All right, we're here today with Dap Paxton, and Dap, I'm just going to be honest. The way I met Dap Paxton, because he told me not to tell the story. So the way that I met Dap Paxton was I went to a Jaquay Waller Dreamcatcher's Black Monologues. It was a phenomenal play, and I didn't know that at the end of each play, the characters remain in character. So Dap played a very abusive husband, extremely abusive. It was very convincing.
Extremely appropriate.
Okay, and so my first question to him was, what does it take to get into a character like that? And I didn't know he was still in character, so I got cussed out, literally right there in front of everyone else, and I didn't know what to do, but someone nudged me before I could get up on stage.
That's a dangerous situation to be in.
It was a dangerous situation. But since that time, Dap, I have been actually mesmerized a little by the fact that you transform into different characters and do so willingly and so freely. And with Atlanta being the next bump on the highway as far as Hollywood is concerned, how do you see your career? Introduce yourself to the forum for me, and then let me know where you're trying to take this.
Well, first of all, man, I'm just humbled to be here.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if you know this. Well, you know this. I've been following your career. Actually, I'm telling an embarrassing story about him.
Oh.
You know? But there was a magazine
Yes.
that you used to print. It's a print magazine.
Right.
And I used to love your magazines. I would come across them throughout the city and I'd pick them up. And one in particular had an article, and I can't remember who wrote the article.
John Ray.
John Wright, yeah. It was about the power of your thoughts.
Right.
You know, and where to put your thought energy. And that actually has helped me in my acting. So to answer your question, man, you've actually helped inspire, you know, my acting career. And I appreciate you and what you do. But that just goes to show that, and this is the way I live my life, that we have to do those things that we were put here on this earth to do.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to help everybody that comes in contact with us. You know, we're here to fulfill a purpose. You should not be afraid to expose your gifts, you know,
Right.
to the masses. And you know, that's how seriously I take my art. So I was telling another artist that's here that you'll be interviewing later on, Sean, that it's just, I look for good stories.
Okay.
You know, I look for characters that have dimension and layers, and typically don't have a platform. You know, people don't hear them. So that character that you saw that cussed you out on stage, you know, that was an abusive husband. Willie Ocean is his name. Willie MF Ocean. You know, he does not have a voice per se.
Right.
And he is judged.
Right.
It's not a character that I like to play. It took a lot of research, a lot of connecting with individuals that's been in that situation whether they were abused or the abuser,
Right.
you know, and actually having conversations with these people. And you will find out some very interesting things. I mean, you cannot be afraid, you know, to engage.
I hate to interject, but so you're telling me now, almost 2 years later, I get an answer to the question that I asked you?
Yes, yes. 2 years later, you asked at the right time.
Is that what it was? You're out of character now.
Right, I'm out of character.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's exactly what it takes. You know, it takes commitment and a dedication and a love and a passion for not only the art and the craft, but the story that you're telling.
Okay. Well, what everyone wants to know is basically what got you into this line of work? What do you do full time? And then how did you segue into acting? And I mean, now you just finished another play, and you're about to start another one. I mean, that's got to be time consuming. And so how do you manage to manipulate life outside of life?
Well, first of all, I'm a Gemini, so
That does it.
shout out to all my twins out there. Happy Gemini season. So my life has always been extremely busy. I don't remember a time that I wasn't involved in multiple things at one time.
Okay.
And so it's always been a balancing act because I have this knack for the arts. I love the arts. I've always been involved in the arts, but I also have this other side of me that's very entrepreneurial.
Okay.
You know, I'm very enterprising. And so I own my own business. I have a company called Imprint Solutions, LLC. ImprintSolutionsATL.com. That's the website where we do graphics, we do marketing, consultations, we print, large format, you know, we make signs, we do all kinds of stuff. We build brands. And that's what kind of ushered me into acting, to tell you the truth. Dreamcatcher Productions, I was brought in as the marketing director for Dreamcatcher Productions. I developed the marketing strategy and the brand for Dreamcatcher Productions. And you know, if you've ever been to a Black Analogs play or passed through downtown and see a big poster that says Black Analogs, that was me. That was Dujuan Paxton. The dad Paxton, you know. And so I was on assignment with Dreamcatcher Productions. We were meeting, we were working on the next show that was coming up, Black Analogs, and there was an actor who hurt himself playing basketball. And he played a preacher, Pastor Marlin.
I remember the character.
Which is a womanizing, you know, preacher, which is an interesting story too. You hear his side. And I said, you know, Jacqueline, you know, if you need some help, you know, I can stand in. I've seen the show a few times. I can identify with the character. Not that I'm a womanizer, but I've seen it.
Ladies beware. Ladies beware.
But I've seen it. But I said I'll do it. And ever since then, I've been acting. And it's been nonstop since then. I can't stop.
So you're telling me that you've just been acting for the last
3 years.
3 years.
3 years, but
and already you have a portfolio boasting how many plays?
Man, I've lost count. I've really lost count, but that's a blessing. And that was confirmation to me that I'm doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. The most. Which is, you know, telling these stories, my style, you know, that style, you know, acting wise.
Now, one of the things that I noticed, now anyone who's not familiar with Dat Paxton, please go on Facebook or look up Dujuan Paxton because you'll find that there is a full repertoire there already. But what I'm most intrigued by is the fact that the characters, as you said, that you play, do take you to a different dimension. They're not characters that you see on stage all the time. They're depictions that America constantly forgets. So what does it take to engulf yourself in a character that no one on the big screen will identify with?
Yeah, wow. That's solid. What's interesting about what you just said is there are characters on the big screen that have dimension and have depth, but most of them aren't Black. I won't get into that. That's a whole other conversation. What I do, my process is very, very intense. You know, people call me a method actor. I don't really know. I love it to the point where when I step into on that stage and I tell this story, I don't want people to see me. I don't want people to see that past. Any shade of me. You know, and I'm as dynamic as they come. You know? But you know, I don't want people to see me. I want people to really see and identify with this character.
Absolutely.
So how can I not just show this character, but become this character? So in a way, I metamorphosize into this character. So I study. You know, every one of my characters have a different kind of tick. It might be an ear thing or nose thing or walk, an accent. I kind of change it up to fit what I think this character would be. How would this character react to certain situations? You know, how would they phrase certain words? You know, how would they say that? And I built a whole backstory. My favorite part about acting is character building. So it's telling this backstory. So my characters, they all have siblings. You know, they have one parent or two parents. They have a zodiac sign.
So you have to change your entire psyche around who that person is,
Yeah.
and then deliver on it.
Right, and it takes me about 2 weeks to come out.
After the fact.
After the fact, it takes me about 2 weeks to completely come out of character.
Now, I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna let that pass, but because we've seen major actors on film who meet a demise after playing a role or another, that they just can't pull themselves out of the character after the fact. So that is truly a psychosis that happens.
Yes, it is.
And because you've immersed yourself in this character for 3 months, 6 months, for as long as it takes to develop and then tour. So I understand your next saturation into a character is someone that's 20 to 30 years your senior.
Say 40 years.
I could say 40, but I wouldn't be telling my audience the truth. So you're supposed to be playing a 68-year-old man.
68-year-old man. Brother's name is Eli.
Okay.
This is an August Wilson piece called Gem of the Ocean.
Okay.
Which takes place in Pittsburgh at the turn of the century.
Okay.
And Eli is a very dynamic character. He has lived his life pulling black people out of slavery and taking them up north into freedom.
Okay.
His sole purpose at this point in his life, because he's 68, he really can't do that anymore, is to protect Aunt Esther, who he cares for. She's a spiritual leader in the community. She washes souls.
Okay.
So I created a backstory. Okay.
Okay. What part in the nation is this supposed to be? Where is this?
This is
Washing souls.
Oh, what do you mean?
So I mean, where are they located? Are they out of
Pittsburgh?
Okay, Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is the place where a lot of August Wilson's plays take place.
Okay.
And so that's where it is. So she's a soul washer.
Okay.
And what happens is she's put in a situation where, not put in a situation, this is what she does. She's washing a young brother's soul who has done something that he feels horrible about. He has blood on his hands and he's trying to get it off. And Eli is in a position where he has to make sure that she's taken care of.
Okay.
And she's safe.
And what is the name of this production?
Gem of the Ocean.
Gem of the Ocean, and it will be.
It'll be at the Southwest Arts Center, July 13th through the 15th. So we have 5 shows. So get your tickets now.
Absolutely.
Right. You can go, you guys
Look at the website.
Yeah, you go to goldstar.com to purchase your tickets. It's put on by a New African Grove Theater Company.
Okay.
Nick Starr's the director, and it's so dynamic, man. It's so many. It's very deep. There's so many layers to that play. It's ridiculous. I'm still learning stuff.
Now, 2 quick questions, and then I'm gonna let the universe deal with that, Paxton. But first of all, just in researching that, one of the things that I found was a layer about you personally that you haven't shared with us is the fact that you're a dad.
Yes.
And the thing that jumped out at me was the photos that you and your son take. And it looks like you're teaching him the same thing, or to be that dynamic, layered character that you are. So for our listening audience, for the internet audience, for people who are coming up under your wing who want to be an actor on your level, what would you say they have to do in order to be successful on the same plane that you are, and then beyond?
Well, first of all, I want to correct you on something.
Okay.
I am a father, and I would be wrong in claiming that I'm teaching him.
Oh.
I am very much a student of my son. He's so pure in spirit and so talented. I wouldn't be acting if it wasn't for him, really. And that's honest to God truth. I'm very much inspired by him. 6 years old, he just turned 6 a few weeks ago. And he is so talented and so dynamic. So, I mean, I try to give him what I can. I mean, as a father, I have experiences, that I can share with him and teach him and groom him. But the reality is this, man, he's given me way more in the last 6 years than I think I can ever really give him.
That's
you know?
great. That's great. And he does still every shot. I just want you to know,
Yeah, of
every
course.
photo, he's like,
Those eyes, right?
I'm like, is Dap in the picture? But what would you say for our listening audience,
man.
for those people who want to come up and be actors here in Atlanta or abroad? I mean, where are you going to make these connections? What do they need to do? And what should their resume look like?
Hey man, you know, I'm probably the last person to tell you what the technical aspect of this. I've been blessed. I've probably done everything wrong, you know, but one thing that I have done is I've approached this with fearlessness.
Okay.
And that's what I would tell anybody. If this is what you want to do, or anything else, you have to be fearless about it. And you cannot allow anybody to tell you that you cannot do this. If it's in your heart and if it's in your spirit to do, you know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You know it. You know, we make up
So
these
move on
excuses. Yeah, you have to act on it. You have to move on it. And you know, acting is not the only thing that I'm great at and I can do. And it's not the only thing that you'll see from me in the future. I got big things.
Okay.
You know, but it's about fearlessness and being focused. You know, so that's what I would say. Just be fearless. Do your thing.
Well, we're all going to be fearless. We're going to thank you for coming out again, man. And again, this is Persona Magazine live at Space, talking to Dujuan Dap Paxton. And again, look for him on the internet. Look for his upcoming play, and Gem of the Ocean. And we're sure there'll be many more productions after that as well. All right. Thank you.